Hi folks, it's Maya here, and today I'm recording a video pretty much to just appreciate and love the Lady Dior bag from the house of Christian Dior. And here I have with me my medium black patent Lady Dior with silver hardware, and to the side I've got my Lady d-lite in the size large, with canvas in the Toile de Jouy pattern, with pale gold hardware. So this is for eye candy, but I'm mainly going to be talking about this one. So since I think high school, when I started looking at a lot of fashion magazines like Vogue and Harper's Bazaar and all that, I'm pretty sure it was from then, and also watching like a lot of fashion runway shows and that, I noticed the Lady Dior. And so this was maybe 20 odd years ago, and definitely at least over 10 years ago. And I actually have always appreciated the silhouette of the Lady Dior, and I couldn't explain it to you back then. I just know I loved it, Christian Dior. And it wasn't until in the recent years that I learnt that this was popularized by the late Princess Diana. I just personally liked it myself, and I can't remember if I ever saw pictures or videos of her carrying this, but yeah, it doesn't matter. So I've always fantasized about this, definitely like in my late 20s, and but I never really, I think I appreciated it from afar, but I didn't actually actively think, oh, let's go get it, until more recently in the last 5 odd years. It just didn't occur to me to actually own it. But yeah, there was a recent video posted by the Christian Dior YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description. And the current creative director was talking to the original accessories designer that came up with kind of the original concept of this bag. And it was just fascinating to me to learn that, yes, there are different designers underneath the head designer that proposes ideas for a lot of things that the fashion house make and produce. And so that was really interesting. And then I also did some research recently to learn that this bag was made and released in like 94, 95. But I don't know, in my mind I'm like, oh, Christian Dior designed it, but no, as I educate myself more about the fashion industry, this bag was released under the head creative / artistic director Gianfranco Ferré, and he is Italian. You might realize by the name. And I actually looked him up just to learn more about him, and not too much, but I learned that currently there's a furniture house in his name based in Italy, I believe, that designs furniture. And I look at this and I'm like, this does remind me of furniture. It does remind me of architecture because it's quite structured. It's quite solid compared to a lot of other bags. It's kind of boxy. And so I'm like, I looked at this furniture, I'm like, yes, I can see the connecting design elements about the furniture they're producing and this handbag. But yeah, the original accessories designer that came with the overall concept, and I'm sure Gianfranco Ferré tweaked it a bit. But she was explaining that they wanted a simple box design. And then she added the handle, and then she was inspired by the Vienna straw on the chairs that the guests of Dior sat on for the fashion shows, and the backing had this pattern in this canage pattern in the Vienna straw, so she integrated that. And then she thought that she wanted to integrate the name of Dior, the House of Dior, but she didn't want to make it too obvious. And Christian Dior loved charms, and the idea was that you wouldn't see the name, but you would hear. I think you would hear the spirit of Christian Dior, and that's why she added sound. So it is actually intentional that when you move the bag a bit, you can hear the sound of the charms. And I get it. It can be annoying, but you know, if you get used to it, you might be able to appreciate that there's this kind of feminine energy behind creating the sound. So she said it was to integrate this kind of movement and femininity, and that you would be heard before you're seen, possibly. And sound kind of has this twinkling magicalness to it as well, which I think I can relate to the original spirit of Dior, and like being the designer of dreams, and lots of there's the star and sparkly kind of magicalness that comes with the original spirit of Christian Dior. And there's oval integration as well, in like this grommet here, and the loop here that holds the handle. And there's an oval here as well in the O. And Christian Dior loved the oval shaped. That was also in the back of the chair. And what I also really admire about this is the structure. Yes, it's very structural, very predictable, but also understated, where the brand name on this particular bag isn't quite that glaring. And I also like the fact that there's a lot of thought in the design from the side angle, where if you look at it, it's like a trapezoid, trapezium, and it travels all the way through to the handle. So there's this angle / triangle here, where when you set the handles the way it's meant to be set, you can see this fluid shape that runs through. And I was looking at my bag one day and I just noticed that, and I hadn't noticed it before until I had the bag, that this is actually really thoughtful. And I'm pretty sure in the design and development of a lot of their products, a lot of thought goes into it that is so subtle, because it's all in the detail, that we might overlook it and not appreciate how much thought and effort and spirit goes into these designer handbags. So I bought this pre-loved last year, and funnily enough, it's the bag that I have been using the most in my designer bag collection. And mind you, it was only recently that I've been generous to myself enough to invest and buy designer handbags. Even though I'm actually not that much of a handbag person, I love clothes more, and then I love shoes. But yeah, recently, I think because of all the lockdowns, my budget has been redirected from travel entertainment to fantasy goods, you could say. So I bought this, and I had been fantasizing about it for a long time, just the general shape of it, and having the Christian Dior. And if you think about the name, the Lady Dior, in honor of Princess Diana, there's a spirit of elegance and understatedness and refinement that I personally love myself. And so when you carry it, you can't help but feel ladylike. And there's this kind of poise that comes with it, particularly if you're wearing like the hourglass Christian Dior silhouette that was famous, made famous decades ago. And I think having this structured bag also balances out the original feminine hourglass silhouette made by the clothes that you wear. So this is very structural. If you think about it, it's actually very masculine, lots of straight lines, boxy. It's balanced out by the curves and the grommets and the hardware and the handle. And so now I haven't been working in corporate like I used to many years ago. And I remember I was wearing like, a lot of corporate urban colors, very masculine, but in a feminine way, you could say. And I'd introduced color, but the overall silhouette was quite strong. But how I balanced that by the one designer bag that I bought the first time and wore for ages was a curved bag. So that balanced out the masculinity in my outfit. But lately, over the last 5 odd years, I've been dressing slightly more casually, but not as high contrast with the black and white, navies and whites, grays and whites. I've been wearing more flowy clothes and softer clothes. And so I think this once again has come into my life and balanced out my overall outfit by being a more structured bag. So my outfit is more feminine and fluid, but my bag has become more structured. And I think if I were to go back into a more corporate environment, even though business attire has relaxed a bit, I might not actually carry this that much to the office, for instance, because then it'll be two very strong components, the bag and then the whole outfit. But in saying that, I love this bag. I love the spirit of this bag, so I can't be sure, and I don't think I'll be going back to corporate for any time soon anyway. But yeah, I'm just sharing these thoughts with you because you might not have known these bits and pieces about the Lady Dior. And certainly I'm sharing things that I haven't really seen in other people's videos about the Lady Dior bag. One other thing which I did see, which not many people had mentioned, was another really thoughtful part of this integral design, which I've only heard one person speak about, and that's the handles. And the shape is probably intentional. So you see this round curve shape to balance out the masculinity and the boxiness of the body of the bag. But when you open it, it's set like this. And I think it's intentional that it doesn't actually lay flat down against the side of the bag. And it's that when you look at the handles from this angle, you'll see that it actually says CD, which stands for Christian Dior. And I'm like, wow, that is so brilliant. And I can really appreciate that. And you'll see that it says CD in the grommets here as well. So I thought that was really, really fascinating. So if you see this bag from this side, it actually has the same idea. So this is the large, and then the new bags, but by Maria, I forgot her name right now, Ms. Churi. She's designed this flap so it's more accessible on the newer bags. But overall, it's still a boxy shape, and it's got this triangle shape here, but the hardware is pretty much the same. But the flap, I guess, is more practical for everyday use, where you can put your hand in easier to get things quicker, where the original zip design, Lady Diana, wanted more privacy, which kind of makes sense for her lifestyle. And you can see, as time goes by, different designs come out to suit our lifestyle, suit our tastes, reflect the times, I guess, through design and how people live. So this is more sporty, more casual, where this was more rigid, more structured, and it really does reflect different mentalities at different times. And I think as we become more active, the clothes we wear, the materials we wear, the technology evolves, and it produces designs more like this. So we're moving away from this style, even though it's timeless. There's this timeless spirit to it, and we appreciate the longevity of the design houses, So this will go on, but it'll keep evolving, pretty sure, as displayed by this bag. So yeah, I think that was it. So I'll link some references of the websites I was talking about and the videos I was talking about in the description below. Do you love the Lady Dior bag? Do you have a lot? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna add some more to my collection, maybe like a smaller, more neutral colored one. But yeah, I'm just sharing this in case you're curious about the history of the bag, aside from a lot of the other videos that have been created by other wonderful YouTubers. I just wanted to kind of point out different elements regarding the style and design, because I love appreciating good design. So I'll leave that there. Let me know what you thought. Did you learn anything new? Is there anything else that you know about the Lady Dior? I think besides the fact that it used to be called the Shoo Shoo, which was actually a nickname for the favorite, and it was gifted to Lady Diana, and so she popularized that in the 90s. Besides that, I think there's not too much else about this. But yeah, let me know if you have anything. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you like this kind of video, and let me know if you have any ideas for other videos you'd like me to talk about, or about the other items that I've shown in my previous videos. And I'll see you next time. Cheers!